Welcome back to Jönköping, Sweden, here at DreamHack Summer 2015. We are just about ready to get things started for our second series of day number 3 here for Heroes of New Earth. As Reason Gaming will take Sync Esports on in a best of 3 matchup here. Wow, Sync Esports going down to the losers bracket. First off, I'm Briggs CBK, of course. I'm going to be your host for this series. The casters for this series, though, going to be the Beef and Shorkin crew. Shorkin. Beef and Shorkin. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, Breaky. We just had a pretty epic match right there. I had the pleasure of being out in the crowd, sitting with a lot of the Thai contingent as they saw their hometown heroes taking it home. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, personally, I expected Sync to take that last game. They had such a huge lead, but big plays coming up from Punk Pang as well as those Tempest ultimates, man.
Yeah.
They really made a difference.
God KSSA. I mean, he played phenomenally throughout that entire series. Was able to get pretty good holes on Tempest, like we had said.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Behemoth, not to be discounted in that last game either. There were so many times when he was able to get massive counter initiations, and that's what was actually able to set up the Dark Lady go in there and get the damage done.
Yeah, no doubt. Great supporting effort, obviously, but ultimately, I think Punk Pang was MVP. I mean, you guys were watching that series. Would you agree, Punk Pang?
He was able to find the farm in some pretty adverse situations, and he put it to damn good use making those big plays.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I would like to say that Keizu played phenomenally as well as lapped on that Pharaoh. Making sure to get that puzzle box early was huge for me. I'm a really big fan of that item, and he got so many pickoffs in those fights where we were like, wait, he got a pickoff right there?
Yeah.
So really well played coming out from him, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Well, you saw right there on your screen as well. So talking about this next series now. So Sync dropping to the losers bracket doesn't happen often. Online LAN events, I mean, this is a big deal, obviously. And you got to wonder how much pressure they're feeling, but Reason Gaming, on the other hand, they're facing off against Sync Esports. And, I mean, how do you think Reason Gaming's feeling right now?
Well, I mean, Reason came off a big win over the guys of Complexity Gaming yesterday. But they've been cold all morning long. They've been getting a little bit of warm-up in, but it's going to be really hard to see how well prepared they are until they actually take the field.
Shurkin?
Well, Reason, they have kind of been the Sync killers in a way, you know?
Yeah?
They've got the record, yeah.
They do have that record, and I would be worried if I were Sync right now.
Oh, yeah.
Coming off a loss like that, from an advantage, that's really not easy to deal with. And I would personally say that Reason stands a really, really good chance of taking this series.
You know who's not worried? Mickey. He doesn't care. He's just here playing video games. That's all he cares about, and he's having fun. I guarantee you that. But
now, we talk about the actual different styles of these teams. Sync, they're kind of the hybrid. They're able to take it early. They're able to take it late. The guys from MRR, they're somewhat of that same style, but generally they like to push their advantage a little bit earlier. Reason, they are the guys that are always going to be trying to turtle to that late game.
Oh, yeah.
Get as much farm on Imboboy as possible. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sync is able to respond and actually adapt their style and who they stack up better against.
now, we saw Silhouette as a star hero last series. By star, I mean a hero that went 0-3 in the series. Not so good. Not so good as a record. Yeah, going 0-3. But I want to ask you guys, for this Reason versus Sync series, which hero is going to be the standout hero, you think? What I'm getting at is Imboboy. I think he's 5-0, maybe even 6-0 this event with a hero called Clanks.
Oof.
Are we going to see a ban on Clanks, you think?
Not in the first bans. Definitely not in the first bans. And moreover, I'd like to think that Puppet Master is going to be picked up again in this series because both Flensmeister and Imboboy, I mean, Imboboy has a lot of history with that hero. So it's very likely that that's going to be a star hero, in my opinion.
And let's not forget a hero by the name of Dr. Repulsor. I mean, he might make an appearance. Both of these guys, very strong heroes. And it's going to be interesting. But for me, those banned out heroes, you've got to be thinking always about the strong junglers, Ophelia and Parasite, counters lapped, and then make sure you take out Moira, because that hero has been phenomenal this entire event.
Now, Reason Gaming, we were talking about this last series. Sync versus MRR, both of those teams have main stage experience. Thailand most recently, even before that, a lot of these players on both sides, they've done it before. Reason Gaming, completely different story. This is new, I believe, for all of them. I know Takefed has been to LANs before, but I don't think he's been on a main stage match like this. We're talking about 5 players that have not experienced fans in front of them like this, the lights on them, everything's focused on these guys. That's going to play a role, right?
As far as I'm aware, Tankafet, like you said, he has the most LAN experience on this team. About a year and a half ago, he made it into the semifinals of a DreamHack event with TMSR before being taken out by the team that would become Sync Esports, at the time known as Denial. So that LAN experience is definitely going to be lacking over there, but at the same time, they've got a lot of confidence, even if they don't have the experience.
What do you think, Shurkin?
Yeah, to be fair, in the other arena, I'd say, for Han, they had so much pressure as well. There they were facing off versus the players face to face. So
True.
I gotta say, I think that Reason's comfortable here. They don't have to deal with the trash talk. They don't have to deal with any of the pressure. And they're just gonna play their own game. So
Tankafet going to be the leader of that team in game, at least. I know Imboboy's the drafter, of course, but as we've said several times throughout this event, the man's vocal. The man is vocal when it comes to talking about strats with the team, obviously in-game as well, and basically being that in-game leader. He's great at it, too. He's a lot of fun to watch, very good at it. Obviously, they have, I don't know what they're using, Skype or whatever, but they will be able to hear each other, so that's going to be big. I will say Tankafet, though, he was one of those players that did like to trash talk a little bit, get in the mind of the other team, so I see what you're saying, Shortkin, but I think he may miss that, but, you know, not a big deal, I guess.
There's not really an opportunity to get that trash talk going on, any kind of inter-team interaction on this kind of a stage setup. But within their own team, I'm sure that Tank is still going to be that voice of hype. I mean, that is something that is so very important for your team, making sure that even if you get off to a bad start, you rally around yourselves, you rebuild that confidence, and make sure that you know that you can take down any team at this event.
LAN events are all about momentum, you know, and if they can take it home here, I have a feeling that Reason Gaming will have a very good chance versus Neolution MRR.
Yeah, obviously they're going to be sitting comfortably, waiting nearby. They're in the stands, I'm pretty sure. They're going to relax a little bit, but Sync has to go right back into it. With that said, I believe the teams are just about ready here. So before we get into the match, I wanted to, of course, give you guys another look at this Reason Gaming team specifically and who they are. Obviously, again, all new players as far as the main stage goes. It's going to be fun to see how this plays out. Now, we've said this several times before, but, you know, just to reiterate, you got, of course, Zane and Imboboy, the brothers. You even see on the left side of the screen right there. But first off, introducing Zane, of course. These guys, identical twins. The only thing that's different about them, Imboboy wears glasses, Zane does not. But that's how you tell. Zane, fantastic suicide player, though.
I mean, he's been around for absolutely ever. Heroes like Pharaoh, his absolute specialty. We saw KZ with a lot of success with that hero in the last game. I'm looking out forward to this series.
As well as Warbeast.
Yeah.
If Sync gives them Warbeast, then they're going to be in trouble. I mean, Zane plays an amazing Warbeast, and on top of that, also a rally. But next we have
Imboboy, the carry, the legend himself. We talked about Clanks, 5-0 with his hero, I think, at DreamHack.
He is the epitome of a carry player for me. I remember a game in SBHL Season 2 where he carried a game back from a 40,000 gold and experience deficit on a Moon Queen. He's just a phenomenal player in the clutch. Can't have anybody better on the team when you need that W.
Yeah. Imboboy, I agree on that. The title of carry. Now, that was Macero there. He got up. He's actually kind of their coach here for Reason Gaming, but now it's Tankafet. Of course, the in-game leaders we're talking about. Shurkin, what do you think of Tankafet?
He's a great player. He's, when I'm playing Woods, what I aspire to be like. Active, lots of farm, lots of kills, lots of activity, and definitely just there to support the team. So I definitely feel that we're going to see some Parasite and Ophelia bans incoming.
Now, this is the one that a lot of people were very interested to see. Ownme's first ever participation at a LAN, just turned 18 years old. He's been playing in the competitive scene since he was 14 years old, right? He's got the wig, just like Mickey, just like Cheetah. I mean, he's got the confidence, and we'll see how he puts up on the stage.
Yeah, Ownme, fun player to watch. He's been a fun player to watch here at this event, and has made some big plays. And it seems like, a lot of people are curious how he was going to react to the pressure and whatnot. I think he did just fine. In the end. The last player, Nier, this guy is he's almost kind of the quiet but deadly assassin for the team. He does his job always, but kind of is very quiet in the background.
You know, one game he did not have that was quiet yesterday was Moira against Complexity Gaming. Had some of the biggest arcane vortexes I've seen on the hero and huge amounts of impact.
Yeah. Nier, Shortcon, what do you got on him?
The Moira specialty, really. And on top of that, they also have a chance to, of course, run a Behemoth with Nier on the team. He is probably one of the best Behemoth players that we have in the scene at this moment in time. I mean, we saw Mecha just now making those huge shockwaves as well, but Nier definitely has followed up with some amazing shockwaves of his own.
The thing with Nier 2, we actually interviewed him, of course, yesterday after their victory over Complexity to get to this point. He basically stated he does not expect to play Moira today because he thinks it's going to be banned. But yeah, we do see on the side of course, Sync Esports, we're pretty familiar with these guys here. We just saw them play. We've known them for a while here. Flensmeister and now Slapped, of course.
Slapped had such an incredible game of Pyro in the last game, and it was still not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it really says something about MRR. But Slapped, I'm sure that even though his team didn't take that one home, he's still going to have a lot of confidence from such a strong performance.
Next in line, obviously the captain of Sync Esports, Insania. Going to be here and thinking about the draft, I'm sure, as far as what they want to do.
He's thinking about his scarf. He can never decide if he's going to put it on or take it off. He says it's lucky, and then he loses, and it's like a really big crisis for him, the scarf.
Do you have anything, Shurkin, that when you play that you're like, I got to have with me? Or?
Wow, that's a difficult question.
Shirt, shorts are good, I guess. Or?
I wear socks.
You wear socks?
I wear socks.
Make sure to wear
Having
socks.
cold feet is not a fun time when playing Heroes of Newerth. So
that's a good one.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
So next we have Mickey.
I don't know who that is. Never seen him before.
Where's the legendary wink?
Mickey, of course.
Yeah, he's focused.
Again, he's focused, but he's just a pure just ball of energy and fun. Like this guy, I know obviously he wants to win. I mean, of course he's a competitor, but I guarantee he's just having fun. And Sync has talked about so many times how he's the reason why they're able to have a great time in their matches. He makes sure that's happening. He keeps them high in terms of their mentality, in terms of them just, again, having fun with it. So
that comes with being 15 years old, man.
Yeah,
you think
right.
Everything's just a game. And in the end, it is just a game, but there's a lot of money on the line. A lot of pride.
There is. Over $55,000 prize pool on the line here. Casey, of course, wrapping up. You guys were stating for Sync in a losing effort, but he really was fantastic in that series against MRR.
Yeah, that Pharaoh play was very, very good. And, of course, he did go with the portal key at the end of the day, which was kind of interesting to see, reminiscent of Moonmeander, who used to go that quite often. But we'll see if he's going to be using anything else kind of out of the box this time.
Yeah, it looks like, again, we're not ready just yet. Insania, of course, talking to the admin right there, the head admin of the event. But shout out to him, by the way. He's done this several times before here at these Heroes of Newerth events here at DreamHack, and he's always done a great job at that here. So once again, making sure that everyone good to go as far as their work is concerned. But ladies and gentlemen, the losers bracket finals is just around the corner here. Sync Esports versus Reason Gaming. I don't know, a lot of people were expecting us to say those two teams for the losers bracket finals, but of course Sync Esports the one we're talking about specifically. But they're here. How much? We were talking about this before the previous series, that if the team that lost, if they win this one, then they could possibly even play another 3 games. Like, it could be 9 games in total, back to back to back, that you possibly play. That's a lot of games. Shortkin, I know you love Han Shortkin, but that's a lot of games.
Even, what was it, during the last DreamHack qualifier? We were exhausted.
Yeah.
And that was after one series before. Only one. And
5 or 6 games total, yeah.
Yeah,
it's 9.
It's ridiculous. Like, how can you keep playing for that long with the same amount of focus as in the first few games? So, if Sync wins this, man, they're gonna have to pull something out of their asses to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And
there's something to be said about warming up. And I mean, they are warm going into this one, but combating that exhaustion is going to be very key as well. It's going to be important for the guys in Sync to make sure that between the games and between the series, they're able to take a break, regroup, and prepare for yet another marathon of series.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are pretty much just about ready to go. So without further ado, Sync Esports versus Reason Gaming here, losers bracket finals. Beef, Shortkin, take it away.
Thank you very much, Breaky. The draft has just started, and Shortkin, all right, before we even see the first picks, I need your prediction. Who takes game 1?
Sync.
Sync?
Sync takes game 1.
I think Reason comes out of the gate swinging.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think they're cold.
Yeah?
Yeah,
They've been over there practicing since 11 a.m.
I mean, practice is one thing, but the actual execution of it is, of course, something altogether different. And Sync, they're out for blood.
They absolutely are, and well, looks like they're going to be targeting some players already. Imba Boy going to be going ahead and throwing out that Ophelia ban. We always talk about Zlapt, and of course making sure that he's not able to be too effective. Parasite going to be gone as well, but Andromeda on the other side, it seems like Sync hates dealing with that hero and the potential tri-lane it brings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the hero is very powerful in terms of saving their allies, and altogether, he's also really strong in the lane now with that low mana cost Comet. And on the other side, though, we have him, the War Beast.
The War Beast, indeed. We talked about Zane's strength on this hero. He plays it to absolute perfection, and we're going to have to see where exactly they're able to create space on the opposite side of the map, though, because that's what War Beast likes to do. He likes to utilize the space that the rest of the heroes create, and of course, hit him where it hurts, the towers.
Yeah. I mean, anytime that Sync decides to group up somewhere, you'll find Zane on another lane just making sure to keep on split pushing.
Yeah.
And one thing I am worried about, though, is with that first War Beast pick, is Sync just going to go all out aggression? And
I think that would probably be somewhat smart. They pick up the Magnus, lending a little bit of credence to what you're saying there. Of course, going to be having such a big follow-up to the Arcane Vortex later on in the game, but a very strong hero in the laning stage, and of course in the early roaming stage as well. On the other side, it's the Imba Boy special.
Dr. Repulsor. And again, if Sync wants to run a really aggressive strat, like they're right-clicking the pebbles right now, and that'd just be perfect. Dr. Repulsor would not do enough damage until later on in the game to be able to take down a Pebbles. And on top of that, a Magnus, very slippery hero. And then, I mean, War Beast is going to do next to nothing if Sync just goes for the towers, for the objectives, just get an insane gold lead and then wipe the map with Reason Gaming.
I mean, but that is a strategy that Sync is very comfortable with, but they also have to execute it perfectly. If they give up any kind of team fights, if they overextend even once, Reason might be able to get the kind of momentum that they need to take the game in later, get a couple more items on those big, strong cores, and of course have the advantage in the late game. But Silhouette coming out, how do you see this fitting in with Sync?
I don't know. I mean, I know that Flensmeister plays a really good one, but in the last few games, it hasn't really shown. Punk Pang just too outstanding on those other heroes, being able to carry games almost solo. And I guess that's why Sync also banned the Dark Lady.
Yeah, really fearing the Dark Blade silence that, of course, renders Silhouette pretty useless. And, of course, as soon as the Dark Lady is able to charge on in there, really takes out Silhouette very quickly. But on the other side, Nymphora going to be coming out, most likely going to be babysitting that Dr. Repulsor in the safe lane. This is a combination that they ran against Complexity Gaming last night in the loser bracket semis match, so Reason very comfortable with this combo.
Yeah, I mean, they steamrolled with that combo.
Yeah.
Dr. Nymph is just so typical, infinite mana for the Dr. Repulsor, or even more burst for the Nymphora, so I'm worried for the Silhouette, man. If he positions himself bad in one push, I feel like he's just going to go and die. Like early on at level 6, Doctor has enough damage to take down a Silhouette, for sure.
At the same time, though, with heroes like Moira and Magnus, they have fantastic counter initiation. If Sync is able to get early enough map control, and if they're able to have the presence of mind to know when Dr. Repulsor and Nymph might be coming in, they might set up an epic bait.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's all going to be down to, does Sync have the map awareness to know whenever Nymph is porting? And that is incredibly difficult. That is the strength of Nymphora. But I do fear a bit for Reason's late game, because it is argued that War Beast is a very good late game carry, and I agree. But you look at the heroes on Sync right now, Moira will generally not be in the fight unless it's with his illusion, and then there's Magnus, who's very slippery, and Silhouette, he's going to be able to swap away from the War Beast. So they have really good heroes right now to dodge the War Beast. Not so much the Dr. Repulsor, but still.
They're going to be able to get those shrunken heads against the Dr. Repulsor at some point. But with that hard melee carry, I really like the ban on Pharaoh here. Imba Boy making sure that that's not going to be able to interrupt him. That's something that we've seen countered Dark Lady as well as War Beast throughout this event. So getting rid of that one. The other bans that have gone out, you of course have Meraxis, Behemoth, and a Bubbles being taken out here by Insania. Some very strong counter initiators. So I mean, that's what they're really aiming for, is to make sure that they can extend without being too punished.
Yeah, definitely. And that Bubbles ban, I think that's in a way an owned me respect ban in a way. Bubbles is one of those heroes that can be really strong early game if he manages to get a good start in the mid lane, and he's also quite strong in a 1v2 lane in that middle. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a hero similar to a Bubbles that can really just survive everything. I mean, Moraxis has already been taken out, but I haven't seen Only play Flux before, but this might be the game for it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking Midas for the guys over there, but Sync picks that one up instead. Pyromancer going to be picked up, and I mean, that's not necessarily the kind of hero that you're talking about just yet, but more likely going to be the second support here for Reason. So opting not to go for a jungler, something that we pretty rarely see out of the guys on Reason.
Well, I think that that Pyro pick was also to prevent Sync from getting that Pyro with the Magnus in the mid.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure that Mickey gets an amazing start, and then Midas, of course, going to Keizu, but now it might be the other way around, having Midas in the middle surviving rather than really getting the farm on the Magnus. And here's Engineer. That is a great combo.
I was looking forward to that myself. I believe that we have a little bit of an affinity for this hero between us.
That could be said, yeah. Engineer, man. Amazing hero. Fantastic.
I
Absolutely
100%
incredible.
agree. Now, he is very strong against Dr. Repulsor, being able to get that silence off, contain him. But at the same time, against a Warbeast, if Warbeast goes and throws his minions on the energy field, it is killed very quickly. So got to make sure that Zane is going to be microing those units appropriately. And of course, he doesn't get slowed if he walks on through that when he's in its ulti form. So you could say maybe a slight counter there, but a solid 70 seconds now for Reason to not only choose this next hero, but to strategize. What do you think they're thinking for right now?
They're looking for a wall, something to truly initiate with, something that, well, Pebbles.
I think a Pebbles is a pretty solid initiator.
Yeah, like
Pebbles.
I'm
Pyro.
looking at the heroes that are left, and I would have said maybe Prisoner if Sync, overcommits, then they could be in trouble. But he's banned, of course, and this is not a game for Rally, I think, because Rally, it's similar to Magnus, but Magnus is just so much stronger in that regard. So I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I think that a Pebbles might just be the best option on the board. They might, however, go a little bit further outside of the box. Onmi has been known to play something like a Fade in the past, and of course we've seen a lot of success with Fade this event, but it's going to be a Pebbles.
I called it right there.
I agree with you.
Yeah, of course, but that was the one hero that I saw that made sense, because Fade has the issue of being so squishy, and Magnus NG definitely has enough damage to take him down.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Pebbles was the superior pick right now. And as the players are readying on up, my blood's getting going, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be an exciting match. Here we go. The losers bracket finals at DreamHack Summer. Reason Gaming taking on the boys from Sync. Crowd, let me hear some noise.
There we go.
There we go. Not bad, not bad. The players are all set, getting on into the match here, and it looks like the guys from Reason, I mean, are they going to go ahead and try to defend their jungle? Well, we're going to go into a pause first. It wouldn't be a competition without the pause.
I was about to say, like, are we going to not have a pause this game? Well, that does not
It was just a late pause.
It was a late pause.
They trolled us a bit.
So maybe Reason was expecting Sync to do it, and look at Tankafet, by the way. He's still not tagged up as Reason Gaming.
I don't know what's up with him, man.
Yeah,
He's ready to leave the team at a moment's notice if they don't win this event or something.
Yeah,
Maybe he's
I
got
don't
a bet with them. I'll join the clan if we win the event.
That would definitely make a bit of sense, some kind of reward for his team, all tagged up. It does look a bit...
As if $27,000 for first place is not enough.
Of course,
reward.
but first they're going to have to get there, Beef.
Well, they do have to go through the guys of Sync Esports, but right now they're making their way up into the jungle with 4 of their players looking to protect this, and of course making sure that Nymphora is going to be able to get a good start. That's what we saw yesterday out of Nymphora, was just being able to chain pull and get very early level 6. That's when her potency is the highest.
Yeah, definitely. So they're going to have to focus that on him. But other than that, like Tankafet, on that semi-support Pyro, he's also going to need levels, because he really depends on getting that ultimate off to really burst someone down in a team fight. He already has a lot of damage as it is, but getting level 6 on him definitely makes a difference. And I wonder what... So let's look at the lanes. It is going to be Keizu Suicide on the Midas. and Mickey middle with that engineer as predicted.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so difficult for Sync to win this mid lane, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. There are some very, very strong laners on the other side. Oh,
Yeah,
Pebbles, Pyro.
My issue is that if they initiate on the Pebbles, he's going to be tanky enough to survive it and then apply so much burst in return that Magnus is just going to fall. And that's the biggest issue when running Mag plus a strong support like an Engie, is that Magnus isn't that tanky within himself, and he can easily get turned on if that so happens to be the case.
His strength relies a lot on his mobility and, of course, his elusiveness with that steam bath. But if you get any kind of dust or a ward of revelation, it's going to be a whole lot harder for Magnus to make an escape. Now, bottom lane, Flensmeister is already having to deal with the creep pull. Of course, Zane, very experienced Warbeast player, knows exactly how to get rid of that creep wave. And Flensmeister, he's able to get on out of there and make sure that the creeps do not go into his own tower. All it cost him was a single Blightstone.
What I do want to mention is that Zane right now, he's also stopping the Moira from stacking. So that's a pretty huge deal. The medium camp was supposed to be stacked, but now, at the same time though, Moira did kill the dog, so the pull is not going to be successful. So maybe he should have not focused on stopping that stack.
It's going to be a different kind of successful here. Silhouette continuing to take a ton of damage, but she very smartly runs the creeps on up. Although Warbeast is going to be able to get this experience now, she is going to lose the lane control, so Warbeast's going to have a little bit harder with time. Still got enough mana for another couple pulls if he wants to go for it.
It feels very strange to have a support with this Silhouette down at bottom, because it feels like Moira, all he's going to do this game is just pull. And stack and pull, just consistently do that. And it's not the worst thing to do, of course, but at the same time, look at Silhouette right now. She's just taking so much damage from the creeps, but Moira's kind of being useless for this Silhouette.
Yeah, so far not working out great. Pebbles in the middle lane might get Swindlemelons ganked here. Onmi is going to be able to go away, but here comes Moira on the backside. The Ephemeral Forge potion going to be canceled out. Misses the Stalagmites. The auto attacks will be enough, maybe. Going to have to dive deep. There it is. Lapped going to go ahead and score that one.
Onmi stayed so long there.
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, that felt really strange. I mean, his stun was coming up again, and Magnus didn't have enough mana for his stun at the time, so I feel like he could have just ran towards the Moira and auto-attacked him down before the stun got off.
100% agree with you, but maybe was thinking that Tank Effect was going to be on the way over top lane. Keizu in some trouble. Zeal Stun is going to connect, and the Elemental Warp not going to be enough. Nier going to go ahead and pick up that one as they equalize in kills.
Man, Tank Effect has been so liberal with his use of that Dragon Fire stun of his, missing a couple times already, but he can do it if he has the mana for it.
And unfortunately, I mean, I had referred to it earlier as the Swindlemelons gank. That refers to the 2-minute mark when your support's going to go run off and grab the rune, and you leave your solo mid there, and he dies.
Yeah.
That happened to Swindlemelons constantly, so maybe just a little bit of lack of awareness from Onmi, not knowing that he needed to fall back a little bit more, and one more time, he's in trouble. The keg is going to connect. Pyromancer trying to turn it around. Pebbles is there, but stunned up by the Blades of Harkin from the Ephemeral Forge, and one more time, Onmi is going to fall. Huge plays coming out from Snake, and they're not done just yet. Another keg going to be coming in. The auto attack should be enough. Dodges the Dragon Fire. They're going to get the counter kill. They're going to get the counter kill, but down goes Tanka. Slap getting solo experiences. He is level 4.
I mean, in this game, it is valid for him to go for the turret. I usually stress that the mines are very good for
so over level
for the damage, but in this game, he needs to build up time so that Insania can get there with his Ephemeral Forge and get the Shards of Harkin off.
It's worked out pretty well, at least so far. Moira going to be in some trouble. Boots on Tankafet. Looks like Insania might go down. Has Boots himself, though, so he's actually just going to be able to get on out of there. Not a real big problem, but a roam coming up. That's a hasted engineer. No mana on him, but it might be enough. Oh, bottom lane, they're able to get Flensmeister. Right here, Nymphora is still in trouble, though. The body block's coming out from Zlap. The Elemental Warp on forward. The Volatile Pod, enough for one more auto attack, but it's not going to be enough. Zlap picks up the kill. So, and Flensmeister in the bottom as well. Wow, Sync off to a great start.
This is what I meant, though. They're turning on the aggression on this Hellborn team. They do not have the heroes to respond to this type of aggression. So, really good rune, first of all. Really lucky that it was a haste rune, of course, being able to then be active at that top lane. But again, just well played on top of it all.
Very well played indeed. Slapped, of course, having to know that he would need the body blocks, didn't have the mana for any spells, so that was the only way they were going to get that kill, but just synced up perfectly with Keizu. Pun fully intended.
Of course. Well, really well played by Flensmeister at the bottom lane. He's now 390 GPM, what's technically a 1v1 lane. I don't know what Zane did that got him in so much danger, but this is not the Zane that we're used to seeing, so...
Middle lane, one more time. Pebble's in trouble. The Shards of Harkin are going to be there. The auto attack's going to be enough. Turns around, will get the kill onto the Magnus, but does give up his own life. That's a third death right now for Onmei.
Yeah, like, they needed Pebbles to snowball in this game, and he does have 300 GPM, but I don't know if it's going to happen, man.
Now, both of the supports are here, level 4, as opposed to 5 and 2 for the guys on Sync Esports. Do you think that they're actually just going to have 2 babysitters in the middle lane for Pebbles because of the hard time he's having?
Well, I don't know what Nymph is going to do. He's going to have to show up when the Ephemeral Forge is used and not before, because otherwise it's going to give too much away, and then Magnus is going to be able to play defensively as well as the Engineer, so... I don't know, but what just happened as well with Mickey getting picked off in the end? Pebbles is just so tanky. They weren't able to bring him down fast enough, and Magnus paid for it as a result. I mean, he got bursted down immediately.
Yeah, that comes a lot from the mana battery, knowing that they have to cast so many spells to actually grab the kill. A nice defensive play coming in, saying we do not see them in the top lane. They might have even walked by the ward of sight that Nier just placed a few seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean, Pebbles does need to start farming, though. Yeah. Without a PK, he's going to be next to useless.
Because Zane's not getting any farm either. I'm surprised that he actually hasn't rotated to the jungle at this point. I mean, I suppose it's currently infested with Sync players, but at some point he needs to get that farm. It looks like they might go right now. They're just waiting for Mickey to be able to get in range for the stun, and Keizu gets a little bit tired of waiting and says, have the lion's pride.
But what Zane is trying to do is to prevent farm from coming on the Silhouette, because if he pulls it properly, then that lane creep is going. Some of them are going to get denied, and then Silhouette does not get that as farm. So it is smart of him to stay, but he's just not been successful with it. So you might be right. He might just have to
Shards of Harkin gonna go ahead and stun Warbeast, but Silhouette only gonna utilize that to get a little bit of damage on the tower. No chance that they were gonna go for any kills. All right. I mean, despite being level 3, Insania has had such high impact in this game already.
Slapped apparently has a 100% win with Warbeast at 6-0. That's really impressive.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, 80% on Warbeast. We know how much he's played this hero. That's like really impressive.
Yeah, but right now I'm not feeling it, to be fair.
I think that once he's able to get into the jungle or start farming some Ancients, we're going to see him really take off. He knows how to play this hero in the late game. Even though his early game has been a little bit weak, I think that he's going to still find that farm. And right now, Pebbles is the one that's in trouble again. Eruption being channeled on up. They get Pebbles. Will they be satisfied with that? No, they won't. Skydance on in. The auto attacks from Flensmeister. One more, and down goes Tanka. A double tap for the guys on Sync.
They're just grouping up, and Dr. Repulsor, he's still just sitting at top lane. There's nothing he can do if it's not in the lane that people are being initiated on.
Yeah, he's really going to need to just find some more items, be able to get a little bit more in the levels, and then be able to be the team's primary counter initiator, because they should not be able to dive that deep with a Dr. Repulsor on the other team. He just needs a little bit more farm.
Now in the mid lane, you saw, I said Pebbles at 300 GPM, but now he's down to 230. Like Owned Me was doing a great job with the creep kills earlier, but now he's just suffering. And it's really unfortunate to see. Are they just going to dive him? They look so prepared to do that.
Turret being used just for a little bit in the way of creeps, and of course they are going to clear those ones out. No Lava Surge available just yet. I think they just wanted to put a little bit of pressure on up in the top lane. Moira already finished up those Striders and been hanging around trying to get up some good wards. Already a nice one over by the Cogwar.
Midas might be in trouble though.
It looks like he is. The Zeal Stun going to be coming on in, and the auto attacks will be enough. Gets the stun off.
That was really close. I mean, nice try by Keizu, but he should have known that staying there was really a risk. Of course, he didn't see even in 4 being there on the side, but Dr. Repulsor is just such a great initiator with that ultimate of his.
Yeah, and the reason for him being there was, of course, getting the tower deny. So Pretty big to be able to get that tower and deny the first of the game.
Of course, but if you die for it afterwards, at least 45 seconds afterwards, then it just feels a bit. It feels a bit greedy in a way, or a bit too far that he went.
I can certainly agree with that. Now, speaking of greedy, Slapped on Engineer has been doing phenomenally so far.
Nymph
Dodges the Pebble Stun. I mean, Nymph and Dr. Repulsor are behind here, and there goes Dr. Repulsor. Gonna go ahead and get the stun. The Dragonfire's there as well. Engineer with the big energy field, though. Nymph4 is gonna be the one that's in trouble first, and the Shards of Harkin gonna be stunning absolutely everybody. Down goes Mr. Emba-Boy on the Dr. Repulsor, and it's now time for Owned Me and Tanka to get the heck on out of there. Dragonfire stun onto Moira. Pebble stun gonna go ahead and connect with 3. Pyromancer not gonna be able to TP on out, and it's a triple kill going to the way of Sync.
I'm not sure why Mickey bought back there, because even with that last stun, the Shards of Harkin were about to go off onto that Pyromancer, so he would not have been able to escape anyways, but Magnus bought back. And
he did.
I mean, you saw in the stats that if you buy back, then your win percentage, it just drops significantly.
Yeah, in this case, I think that Mickey just wanted to make sure they had enough damage to get the heroes, and of course be able to continue taking the towers, and so far they've been able to achieve that objective. Over 5,000 golden experience going the way of Sync Esports now, just 11 minutes in. They've got the snowball rolling, but as we talked about early in the pregame, they got to make sure that they do not lose this momentum.
Look at this though, in the woods.
Strong lane.
That damage coming out from Engineer is absolutely ridiculous. He did max his turret. He's level 8.
Yeah, level 8, 11 minutes in.
Yeah.
He's got not only the steam boots, he's got the full wand, a bottle that he's currently holding, and 1,200, make it 1,300 gold in the bank.
So Slapped, as well as this game, as last game, is just doing a fantastic job on that semi-support.
He really is. There's a reason that he is the star of this team. Of course, the one with all the fans out there. The streamer that turned into a non-competitive legend. Definitely showing that he does have the chops to keep up with anybody in the game here today on the stage.
Yeah, definitely, but also very well played coming out to Mickey. I mean, he hasn't had the most flashy plays, of course, but he's just been there with a solid stun, making sure to do his best to get Slapped those kills.
Looks like a little bit of a technical issue for the guys on the stage there. I'm sure they'll get it sorted out in the next couple of minutes. But, of course, in the meantime, I'm just taking a look at the item progression here. And, of course, double Striders already on the guys from Sync, Insania, as well as Keizu picking those up. It really does go to show you how much roaming these two are planning on doing. They're never going to sit there and just try to keep down a Dr. Repulsor. They're going to link up with their team and try to keep pressuring, bringing those kills and taking objectives.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying their best to roam around the map, and we've seen Zibbe do it time and time again with that Midas, making sure to constantly stride around, just get that post haste early as well, and then just keep farming. It's a great way to keep pushing out lanes, to really just keep control of the game. And on top of it all, Magnus is closing in on his portal key, whereas you see the Pebbles, he doesn't even have his steam boots yet.
You know, it's kind of crazy, though. You look at Mickey and you look at Slapped together in that middle lane. Very similar items. You, of course, have the wand, the steam boots, and then there's even for a portal key, at least most likely in Zap's case. Zap being a little bit closer, actually, as the support, 11 gold further ahead. So he really has had a standout game, 5-0-4 in this one so far. Now, on the other side, Dr. Repulsor has been shut down just a little bit. I mean, he's got those 2 deaths, but already does have the Ring of Sorcery that we would expect him to be disassembling into the Icon of the Goddess. Is that the item you prefer to see first?
I mean, this game is already so active, but I feel that they're not getting enough kills for the Icon to truly be effective until they start defending the towers and, you know, having the game go more their way. But right now, Sync is in control, so they need items that help right now. And Icon makes you tankier, but I'm not sure if it's really the right item to go. They just need to focus farm on the Pebbles, in my opinion.
Yeah, because right now he is quite poor. He's got the little red boots. He's got the mana battery. He's got a bottle, but just not a whole lot else. I mean, he's got to have something in the bank, right? Or is he actually just that poor?
I'm thinking he has that 230 GPM because he got these items and then just repeatedly died over and over again. And
4 deaths. I mean, that's It's a real rough start here from the guys of Reason Gaming, but they are not called the kings of late game without some kind of reason. That was unintentional.
That was unintentional?
Yeah, that one was unintentional. I'm not that good.
No excuses, only reasons.
I guess so.
But Warbeast, man, I'd like to focus on him. He has 32 creep kills, but 220 GPM. It just doesn't feel Zane-esque. It's, as I said before, I fully expect Sync to take this one because they're, they got the train rolling. They have, the engine is oiled, and then the other guys are cold. And that really has an effect on you.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier about how you have to wear socks while playing because you don't want cold feet. Well, he has cold feet right now.
Well, there you go. 11 minutes in, Flensmeister already finishing up the Nullstone. I mean, we haven't really talked too much about this silhouette, who now finds herself at 550 gold per minute.
Yeah, I just really saw the play coming out from Flensmeister, and unlike the previous few games, Sync is in control.
Oh, they're looking for Flens right now, though. They probably don't know the Nullstone's been completed, and they're actually not even going to find him. The Veiled Rot Gank coming out of Nymphora, and Doctor is going to connect on Slap, but he's so tanky, they're not even able to get him down to 50% HP. Is Slap going to fall here? No, gets out of the energy field, and now the Ephemeral Forge actually gets Slapped killed. Dr. Repulsor is invis currently. Moira going to be taken out by Nymphora on the backside. Zeal Stun connecting on 1 and 2. The Golden Salvo was enough to get the slow down. Volatile Pod is there as well, but McKay with the stun is going to be able to pick up that kill. A 2-for-2 trade in the
end, yeah. Slap stuck around a little bit too long. That could have been a trade where no one from Sync was lost. Well, I guess Moira did get picked off in the end, but at the same time, I felt like Engineer could have gotten away there. He stuck around to throw the keg out, and ultimately he did. It helped out to a certain extent because it made Doctor use the Invis rune, but other than that,
yeah,
he just died.
Really heads up play there though by Owned Me, getting the chunk off and making sure to take out Engineer, utilizing the Ephemeral Forge, not only avoiding the stun but picking up the kill. And of course, while that was going on, Zane was able to pick up a little farm, just protected down there in the bottom lane. So he's starting to come back, maybe just a tiny bit, but they're going to need to come back a lot more. The biggest threat, of course, being this silhouette.
In the woods right now.
But right now, it looks like they are going to go for a kill onto Pebbles. They're going to go ahead and bring down Near first. The Arcane Vortex is there. Stun missed by Pebbles. He's got a Chuck, though. Will they be able to bring down Magnus? No! Lava Surge onto 2. And where's the response? Pyromancer going to try to die to creeps. Not going to happen.
Nice PK coming out from Magnus as well, making sure that he survives in the end. And Sync, they're just coming together. They're making sure to gather up early, have the aggression, and Warbeast isn't even pushing the bottom tower. He's still in that lane, just almost static farming.
Yeah, he's really close to static farming, but he doesn't want to push it out too far for fear of just being killed. There's not enough vision for him down there. There's one ward in the enemy jungle, but it doesn't protect him from those that might be TPing into the tier 1. And he's already at 50% life, and right now I think there's going to be another engagement up top. They are going to find Midas. Kazu should fall, but there's the giant eruption. Will they be able to kill Nymphora? Yes, she is going to go down. Imba Boy trying to get on away from there, but here comes the Ephemeral Forge. Shards of Harkon are going to be applied. Not going to be able to get the stun, but Mickey is going to be able to find it. Auto attack to finish him off. Here comes Warbeast. Nice blink on away from Mickey, but here comes Pebbles. Going to find Engineer inside the energy field, though. I think the guys from Reason are in a bit of trouble. Pyromancer going to miss that stun. There's the keg going out, making sure the Pyro's not able to get back in. A two-man stun coming in from Magnus. There's the Chuck, and Mickey will go down, so goes a little bit more the way of Reason than it probably should have right there.
I mean, I think that Mickey was feeling the hype. He misplayed a bit there with that stun. He could have made sure to finish off the Warbeast and maybe even just stun into the woods.
He was looking for the big play.
Yeah, he was definitely looking for the 3-man stun, but alas, it was not meant to be. But I would like to mention that Slap, he has his PK, man.
Jeez.
That early into the game, I mean, I saw it at 14 minutes, and then that fight broke out. So he's had it for 1.5 minutes now, and that's insane on the semi-support.
It really is, and I mean, it's the gateway to so many more items for him, as he's going to be able to get into those positions, help his teams get the kills, and make sure to place down those energy fields. It was a beautiful one there in that fight. Really one of the reasons why it didn't go a little bit worse for Sync Esports. But now, Sync going to be falling back. Looks like they will attempt to stack a triple Ancients and take that out one more time. Well, I've only seen the Ancients taken out once, I believe by Zane here on Reason. Normally something you'd like to be able to do with your Pebbles, especially with the support of a Pyro.
I mean, Pebbles is finally closing in on his PK, but look at this. Moira running in. He's going to find an Amphora.
Looks like he will. The Shards of Archon not going to be applied. Ephemeral Forge going to expire, and Amphora should be just fine.
That was a bit too far, in my opinion, as well. You really can't dive that far.
That would have been very dangerous. And there's the triple stack Ancients. Going to be going the way of Sync, so they'll break the 10K lead mark.
Most likely. Midas is having a bit of trouble, though. He did finally pick up his PK, I think. So now, and wow, look at Insania as well. 1,900 gold saved up. So they're going to have 5 PKs really, really soon.
Wow. 5 PKs by probably 17, 18 minutes at the latest. I cannot say. Never in my years of casting Han have I seen that before.
I mean, aggression. And they're showing this time and time again. I just feel that Reason will not have anything to answer with this. Doctor jumps in. He's going to get jumped by at least 4 other players, you know?
Yeah.
So, Pebbles, you're going to have to do the main initiating, and you're just going to die afterwards.
It's coming to a point where Reason is going to have to wait for the other team to initiate. Their heroes like Pebbles and Dr. Repulsor are not going to be able to jump in that fight, like you said, without overwhelming odds coming in from the other side. So they're going to have to take up defensive postures, wait for the guys of Sync, let them make the first move, and then try to respond in the best possible fashion. I feel like if there's a way for Reason to get back in this one and take the game, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, if they manage to get their Dr. Repulsor snowballing, then of course it's going to be very possible, but it just looks like Flensmeister at that 600 GPM. Keg almost hitting the Dr. Repulsor. Nice attempt.
Very close indeed, but of course, one more time, Zane doing a little bit of split push. He is confident to make his way a little bit further this time. But here comes the TPs. The confidence maybe not warranted. Eruption onto Zane, and down he goes.
Zane was doing a...
Oh, TP in from Dr. Repulsor. I'm not sure about this. He's so low on mana. And the Arcane Vortex is there as well. Shards of Harkon going to go ahead and stun 1 and 2. But here comes Pebbles trying to get the kill. No, Dr. Repulsor going to be the one to go down. And he chucks Magmus on out of there. But now Pebbles is in a ton of trouble himself. He's got a PK in 4 seconds. It's not going to be nearly soon enough, as Pebbles is going to be stunned 1 and twice. And down he goes. 3-way going to be going to Mickey right there. That was a really disastrous TPN from Nim.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Mickey being able to use this as steam bath. He actually made sure to dodge Imbaboy's opposite charges, and that allowed the Moira to use his Arcane Vortex. That was ridiculous. So really well played coming out from Sync, and look at this now. Mickey 450 GPM on top of the 600 GPM from Flensmeister.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see which item he goes next. Sometimes you might see things like a Shrunken Head, maybe even a Tablet of Command. What are you feeling right now for the Magmus?
For the Magmus, well, there we go. Tablet of Command.
There it is.
I didn't even get time to talk, and it looks like Engineer is going to go for the same thing.
Double Tablet going to be good. And Zane one more time, going to be caught out in this location. His 3rd death in the same area. Definitely not great up top. Flensmeister taking a lot of damage. Will he go down the Skydance away? One more auto, and he does fall. So a huge pickoff right there. Flens immediately dropping 40 GPM with that death.
Yeah, that was a really big kill for the side of Reason, but without there being a lot of farm on the Dr. Repulsor, I don't know how much it's going to do. 300 GPM on Dr. Repulsor, so Flensmeister is almost twice as much. And that's not often something you see.
Not from Imbaboy. That's for damn sure. He is a very strong Gary player, but right now just being outclassed by the opposing team. He is just a couple of gold per minute ahead of the Engineer.
Yeah, but Engineer he's not even ahead anymore with that tower kill. His Lapt is ahead now, and I told you, they got the engine rolling. And all out aggression, chugga, and I don't know how Reason is going to pull this one off.
It's going to be really difficult. Right now, though, they're going to try to grab Midas. The portal key on in, combo from Pebbles, and down he goes. Zeal stun was not even needed, and it looks like they'll probably just TP on out of here, although here comes Moira, utilizing the portal key in the Shards of Harkon, but no, not going to go ahead.
There's Flensmeister, he is going to find him.
Yes, he is. And Nymph, I mean, by all means, he should be dead.
What
right
a
here,
sidestep coming out from Flensmeister, making sure to waste no time. Efficiency at its finest.
And Pebbles TP was canceled. Oh, he's in trouble.
Man.
Nicky going to come in with the stun. I'm not sure who made that play. I want to say that it was Lapt. He looked to be first on the scene. So a nicely timed Keg. Interrupting the TP and securing a kill on one of the main cores here for Sync. Once more, Zane in the bottom lane, though. Bets on if he survives?
Yeah, well, he's being a bit more careful this time, using his dogs to push out the bottom lane and just farming the woods himself. He's actually scouting with wolves, actually. My excuse is he really doesn't want to die anymore. And even with those subsequent two deaths after each other, he's still 270 GPM, so he's not doing the worst thing in the world. He's about the same as the Pebbles, and that's impressive. He was suicide.
Of course, hasn't been participating in really any kills.
Well, he has 7 assists due
It's
to his
mostly from the
battle
war
cry.
cry, yeah.
And that, it does a lot. It really does. 44 damage for every hero.
But as far as where he's been on the map, he's been chilling in the bottom lane pretty much the entire game, keeping this one pushed out. And eventually, he's going to take this tower up top. Nymph is TP'd in. That's a more ephemeral forge. I didn't realize that, but oh god, the eruption onto 2, 1 and 2. Pebbles and Pyro both go down. Mickey with the double tap onslaught streak, 12 kills to his name.
And Flensmeister making sure that Zane does not get that tower. I mean, Zane is sticking around. I think he should just...
Top lane, they're going to grab Engineer, but he's so tanky. Will it be enough? Slap is going to fall. The stun not going to connect either. Is able to grab Nymphora, but it looks like Dr. Repulsor going to be the one able to get on away. Nymph, I mean, she's got zero chance of getting out of here.
I mean... Oh. Magnus,
okay, oh my god, is she going to get this kill? She's certainly trying. One more auto, not enough. Wow, that was a really solid attempt, though, from Nier. He's a player when he needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did max out the volatile pod, of course, and I do think that this is the right way to go. That the mana, it's been overhyped. The combination of Dr. Repulsor, oh yeah, you know, he's able to jump more often than, you know, that kind of stuff. But honestly, the nuke damage coming out from volatile pod and Nymphora Zeal are just so much stronger. Especially in such an aggressive game.
Yeah. There is a lot of aggression indeed. 39 hero kills. Currently just 23 minutes into this game.
Yeah, this is so not Reason-esque, what's happening right now.
No. I mean, it kind of is in the sense that they're used to teams trying to pull out a lot of aggression against them and then trying to respond by taking it into the late game. But so far, I mean, they're so behind. 17,000 gold down at the 23-minute mark. It's almost all in the Silhouette, though. So if they're able to take down Silhouette, who's still relatively squishy, they might just be able to take some team fights and break their way back in.
Yeah, but I would definitely like to see Sync just group up and force a combo fight, because they definitely can. Warbeast really isn't an impact in team fights other than the Battlecry right now and, you know, a few auto attacks, but Silhouette has a Jomner's Bane, and they can take this combo so quickly.
They're going to find Zane right here. Bordelkion in with everything. Just everything.
with everything. He just got
Zane's probably sitting there telling his team, they used everything. They used everything. Take the team fight. No. There's no way that they take a team fight with Zane dead right here. Instead, going to continue the split push. Dr. Repulsor and Nymphora one more time up in the top lane. Going to continue forcing that situation, and they're baiting Kong right now.
They should just go Kongor, in my opinion.
All
there
right.
we go.
The bait's over.
The bait's over. Let's go Kongor. They do have a pretty good Kongor team, of course. They have a lot of stuns, making sure to kill that monkey relatively quickly. And Hellflower picked up. As I said, they needed something that was helpful now, and Immelboy went for the Hellflower. I don't know what it's going to mean, though, if he gets bursted down. There's so many stuns on the Legion side.
Oh, they're going to try to actually kill Silhouette right now. They're going to be successful. A really solid bait from Reason. Now are they going to be able to respond to the Kongor? Doesn't look like they're trying. No, yes, they are. Nymphora is going to be TPing in right now. They've got the ward. Is he going to go for the steal? He's going to try, and he's got it. He's got the steal. Pebble's going to be trying to go forward, misses the Slagmite stun, but doesn't even matter. Silhouette Illusion going to be taken out. There's an Ephemeral Forge there as well. Pebbles actually in a lot of trouble. Pebbles is going to drop the Token of Life as a result of the solid play coming out of Insania. But man, that was pretty nice.
That was pretty nice, but I don't know if it ultimately really changes anything.
I think it absolutely does. I think that not having that on the side of Sync means they are now more afraid to go high ground. And I think during that time, they were able to take the top tier 2 and the mid tier 1.
Yeah, but my expectation is still for Sync to take over the map right now. They don't have much in aggressive wards, except for that one in the middle by Insania, but if they start choking the opponents, then there's not much that Hellborn can do. I mean, they fought in a very unfavorable position with, you know, Nier just landing such a beautiful stun, of course. But ultimately, I think Sync still has such a huge lead in this game.
They really do, and a lot of that comes from the bound eye and the map control that they've been able to take as a result of that bound eye. All 6 opposing towers are down by the 20-minute mark, and they've been able to get some really solid vision as a result of that. However, if they do end up losing that bound eye, just transferred from Insania to Keizu, that could be the beginning of really strong map pressure from the guys on Reason. They've already scored, what is that now, 3 towers on their own side, so they're really not that far behind in terms of the actual objectives on the map.
Yeah, but the hero kills are still not looking good for them. There's 28 and 14 on the Hellborn side.
I hear it. Imp TP, they're looking for Flensmeister one more time, and it looks like they're gonna go ahead and grab him. He swaps out, and he is gonna be able to get away to the illusion, currently in the top jungle, and this might have been an out rotation. They're all sitting in the middle lane.
To go mid.
Yeah, a really solid rotation coming in right there from the guys in Sync. Flensmeister already knowing that he was going to need to get back over to the middle lane, had his illusion already placed in the jungle. A quick jaunt mid.
They're still afraid. I don't know why they're still afraid. Are they just going to try and initiate on Dr. Repulsor? I feel like that would go bad right now. The tower is going to do a lot of damage, and the only way they're going to burst him is if they hit almost everything on him, but then they have nothing left for the Warbeast and the Pebbles.
But this is what I've been saying, that the guys from Reason, they know they can't really initiate into any kind of a team fight. They can initiate ganks, but as far as team fights, they're just going to try to avoid them, and if they get initiated on, they respond appropriately. As a result, Sync knows they've got a ton of counter initiation. If we make one false move, that could be game for us.
Yeah, Tankafet as well, doing a great job on the levels actually. He's level 13, so second highest in his team right now, with Owned actually being lower level.
Yeah, Owned definitely having a relatively rough game on his own. The majority of his farm has been coming from the kills he's been involved with. Currently 8 coming from 5 kills and 3 assists to his name, but he's got 2,200 gold saved up in the bank here. What do you expect to see?
Sorry, say that again. For what hero?
Pebbles.
For Pebbles, man, he's they have the Hellflower for the silhouette. I would like to see a Shuriken head on him. He needs to be able to just get those auto attacks in, because Magnus, Midas, Moira, and Engineer are just going to be have such a huge impact due to the fact that they have so much GPM, as well as the silhouette with 600 GPM.
I think Shrunken Head is definitely a solid choice here. They're going to be lacking a little bit in damage, but it's just the right choice. And now Dr. Repulsor and Nymphora, they're hiding once again. Where are they going to go? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, this is what they've been doing all game, though. And they are going to go ahead and find a silhouette. Chucks Pyromancer away. Beautiful play coming out from Ownme.
Yeah, definitely.
And here's the Nymph TP.
Yeah. Are they going to jump, though?
I don't think they are. There is a haste rune on the Dr. Repulsor, though. If you did want to go in, that would.
Oh, they found Nymphora.
They are going to find Nymph, and she does fall immediately. Now, where are they going to follow up? It
nice
looks like
tablet coming out.
Yeah, Zane getting pushed on down. A stun onto 3. Pebbles chucks onto himself. The energy field is going to be able to finish Zane off, and Dr. Repulsor still in the bottom lane. Going to be able to take a tower, but he wants none of this.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything he can do now? Warbeast does have a buyback, but
they just have to forward up.
What is Warbeast going to do? It's really about the initiation coming up from Dr. Repulsor and Pebbles. Silhouette is putting home.
Yeah, she's just going to cycle a little bit. And Pebbles is going to come in. Combos down Keizu. See you later on Insania as well. The eruption, though, from Magnus is going to be doing a lot of work. But is it going to be enough? Moira's dead as well. And now Magnus is going to be the one in trouble. 4-man's portal key on forward. And Magnus, he has the stun. On to 3. Silhouette's here trying to clean up, but Magnus is able to get on out of there. A beautiful turnaround kill to get the Pebbles.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, that was really well played from the guys on Reason. They initiated the moment they saw Silhouette TPing out. I mean, he could have done it less obviously, like, really.
And now the bound eye going the way of Reason Gaming. Bye-bye map control. Nymphora on the other team. I'm telling you, Shortgun, they were just biding their time.
I don't know. The lead is still looking in the way of Sync quite heavily. There's going to be a Cold Rush Sheepstick. Going to be picked up soon on the Magnus as well. So there, I mean, Immaboy does have a Shrunken, but this means he can get initiated on immediately without ever getting that off.
He's done a great job, though. His positioning in this game has been very, very good. Making sure that he's always sitting in the trees until he's able to get on into the team fight. With the pickup of a shrunken head now as well, I think he's not going to have so much to fear from that the sheep until at least that has worn down a little bit. And down goes Insania. I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
Map control.
Map control.
Map control. But that's just the strength of the Nymphora. They're making sure to kill those Moira illusions so quickly. They're just so annoyed at Insania, I'm sure.
They know the strength of them.
Yep.
Able to get on in, and especially with the portal key, get the Harkin stun off. And all right, Zane is pretty tanky. Will he be tanky enough? Doesn't quite look like it, or maybe he will be. One more auto is going to be enough.
Dude, the Bound Eye.
Are they going to see it? They don't actually see it. Oh, God, they have to. Okay, Mickey is going to walk on over and pick it up. There was a nymph port actually coming in. She candled it, though, because she was very scared of what could have been going on.
Yeah, definitely. And
okay.
Do you see those tablets from Mickey?
Yeah.
Like tableting forward silhouette earlier, of course, also tableting down the
Zane from the high ground. Yeah.
Who thinks of this stuff, man?
Evidently, just Mickey thinks, man.
Oh, man.
He finishes up the sheep as well. And with this kill onto Zane, what's the objective that they're going to try to take? Do they just try to get a deep board? Do they get more kills? Looks like they're certainly trying onto Pebbles, but a beautiful tablet that's going to be coming in from Tankafet. He saves Ownby, and while this is going on, pressure on the top lane, base tower taking damage.
I mean, it's not that extremely...
It's huge amounts of damage.
It's huge amounts of damage.
It's going to be dead within
Moira's
seconds.
going to make sure to defend that tower, but... Are they going to be able to find any kills? You see 4 of the guys from Sync just roaming around in the Hellborn Woods.
Dr. Repulsor with the Invis rune. Going to be going for a little bit of scouting.
But they have an eye.
Who has the bound
they
eye
have
here?
The eye.
Midas is carrying it, but I think he's on the way home.
Yeah, so Imberboy might be able to find Silhouette here.
Wow, yeah, this is still.
And you have Pebbles coming over,
Silhouette.
no Pyro.
And gonna go ahead and jumper. Pyromancer is gonna be able to get the Dragon first time, but a beautiful line stun coming in. Dr. Repulsor is gonna be taken out before popping off that shrunken head. Arcane Void checks onto the Pyromancer. Will he be able to get this kill? Doesn't look like it. And now Pebbles gonna be the one that's stunned up one more time. Gonna go ahead and chuck Magmus on off him, and the Zeal stun gonna go ahead and connect onto 2. But Magmus is looking for Pebbles and nobody else. They might even have a little bit of a man fight right here. Nymphora being zoned out by the engineer on the other side. And it is going to be a kill onto Owned Me. One more time, his 9th death in the game. God, Cleanse was so close to dying right there as well.
That play from him, though. He used his ultimate, then, had one move down. Warbeast was going for the real one. He swapped out, walked through the fence, and Warbeast was too afraid to chase. And I'm not sure if that was a mistake from Zane or just really well played from Cleanse, but either way, it looked really pretty.
It did indeed, escaping right there with less than 10% life, and they're going to go ahead and do a little bit of backdooring of their own. They do have buyouts on both of the cores here, but of course they do not want to use them. Oh, they're even going to go ahead and catch Nymphora. This is now a guaranteed set of racks here in the middle lane, and it could even be more.
Like, Pebbles doesn't want to use a buyback right now because that would... It would be too late. It would just be a waste. I mean, Sync is already backing off. I don't know. Kongor should be coming up relatively soon?
Maybe. Yeah, I would think within the next probably 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, and when that gets up, Sync is going to be able to push another tower, or when they just find a pick-off, because they've been doing that so fantastically with Moira and Magnus. Like, man, the lineup from Sync is just so brilliant. Just a stun on every single hero. How often do you see that?
It really actually reminds me of some of the lineups that we see in Thailand. Some of the Thai teams down there are so hell-bent on aggression, they end up picking teams like these, trying to go for mega mobility items and just constantly forcing fights. So maybe Sync hitting the guys of reason with something they've picked up, well, down on the other side of the world.
Yeah, now we're just missing the Myrmidon.
Oh, the fish.
Oh, the fish.
Oh, that would be something now, wouldn't it?
Now, if that would be picked up in the grand finals, that would make my day.
Another deep ward here in the enemy jungle. The guys from Reason are behind enemy lines. Only being zoned out in the top lane, but this might actually be how they set up a counter onto Roche one more time. Kong, of course, going to be in quite a bit of trouble with Silhouette pounding in those auto attacks. Here comes the Hellhounds. They get all the vision that they need right here. Know exactly what's going on. And here comes Dr. Repulsor. Activates the Shrunken Head this time. Going to be able to take out an illusion, but there's an Arcane Vortex on the backside. Into the energy field. This could be very bad for Reason, but they do have the Shrunken Heads popped off. And it looks like they're just going to try to turn on around. Magma's going to be trying to catch out Dr. Repulsor. Grabs him with the sheep. And here comes everything from the Midas. And down goes Imba Boy.
I don't know what to say other than Reason just screwed up. They jumped in well, and then they managed to just throw it all away. They split up, they ran in different directions, Shrunkens went down, and they didn't use the Shrunkens at all. So you could say, well dodged from Sync, but really I think it was just a mistake from Reason.
It was really awkward for Dr. Repulsor to actually be heading on in there, and now it looks like Pyromancer in a little bit of trouble. The Shards of Harkon are going to be able to go ahead and grab the stun.
No one's nearby though, so...
Forcing him back, yeah. I thought Mickey could get there. Maybe his portal key goes twice as far as everybody else's.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like at least sometimes.
Really, it does. On M4, going to go for, I thought that was a courier sniper. That's his own courier delivering a TP on down here. He's just looking to do a little bit of creep cutting, it looks like.
I feel it's really risky for Pyromancer to be standing there. Just look at the damage coming up from Silhouette. Wingbow and the attack speed, that's just ridiculous. Pyro is there alone. And with the swap up, I think Silhouette would definitely jump that chance to kill that tank of that. And Nier, what was he doing there?
He was doing a little bit of creep cutting. He TP'd on down, hopefully saying, you know, if I keep your creeps all the way back here, you're not going to want to go in my base and just start backdooring things. But he miscalculated a little bit right there as they avoided his ward on the way in.
Moira's just looping in.
Yeah, she is just all kinds of in there. She's baited out so much stuff, including a Shrunken Head from Warbeast. That's Moira and Silhouette Illusions. That's a whole.
Really well played coming up from Sync. Moira making sure to get that vision before Flensmesh jumped in. And then he just escaped. And during his Sky Dance, he just auto-attacked multiple times. And here's the initiation.
Energy field going out. There's the eruption onto 3. Magma's doing a ton of damage, but is it going to be enough? Multiple Shrunken Heads being popped off, but Silhouette is doing so much work in the background. Already a double tap coming out from Flensmesh. There's the Sheepstick. Mickey going to be surviving. The poor man's portal key does finish him off, but now Pyromancer in an awkward spot. Or is he? Turns it around on his lap. Engineer going to be the one falling. Steel stun onto 2. Dr. Repulsor back up. Going to be able to finish off 1, 2. And now down goes the Silhouette. She's going to be coming back up with the token. No, she wasn't even finished. She didn't even go down. Champion of Newarth streak right there for Flens. And GG, well played. The guys from Sync going up 1-0 here in the Losers Bracket Finals.
That was solid. That was impressive. So look at them. They're back into it. Insania, relief showing on their faces, of course, that they still have it. They still got it. They have what it takes to become the champions.
Well, any of the momentum, any of the energy that they might have lost from that square off against MRR, they're back into it. Now, the guys from Reason, they've got their backs up to a wall. They need to win 2 in a row right here if they want any chance of continuing in this event. And they might need to take it back to the drawing board with how they actually approach the draft and their strategy.
Of course, now, Reason is going to be warmed up. They're ready. They know what to expect. The aggression coming out from Sync was impressive to behold, truly, and they're going to have to fight for their lives now.
We will have to